Just ahead on CTV News. A local police officer is indicted. Find out why. Plus, we have some holiday travel tips ahead of Thanksgiving.
Give yourself ample time no matter what mode you're taking. We are also seeing record high travel volume and the number of people from our region that intend to fly.
And have you set a budget for holiday shopping? Our financial expert shares why you should have a plan. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for November 21st. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, topping our news tonight, a Hyattsville police officer has been indicted by a grand jury for multiple sexual abuse charges. On your screen is Corporal Jonathan Mong. Yesterday, the county state's attorney announced Mong was indicted on charges including sexual abuse against a minor, second-degree rape, and sex offenses in the third and fourth degree. The Hyattsville Police Department will be conducting their own separate internal investigation. Corporal Mong has been placed on administrative leave without pay. And the Maryland Department of Health announced the first cold-related illness death in Maryland. The deceased is an adult male around 30 to 40 years old. This incident occurred in Frederick County. Now, officials say to prevent the onset of cold-related illnesses, including hypothermia and frostbite, Marylanders should limit their time outside and wear several layers of lightweight insulated clothing to avoid exposure to cold weather.
A federal judge is frustrated with the Trump administration over their lack of evidence in the case of Kilmar Obrego Garcia. Yesterday, John Cantu, a senior official at Enforcement and Removal Operations, could not tell the judge why they were blocking Obrego Garcia from going to Costa Rica, which offered him refugee status in 2025. Judge Paula Zena said, quote, "Today was a zero in my view." Obrego Garcia is challenging the Trump administration's efforts to deport him to Liberia ahead of his human smuggling trial next year. Obrego Garcia's lawyer is frustrated with how his client is being treated.
The fundamental question of why the government is insisting on protracted legal battles to send Mr. Obrego Garcia across the Atlantic Ocean to now 4 different African countries, when there is a Central American country that has already offered him refugee status. The central question goes unanswered yet again by the government, and it leaves a bitter taste in the mouth of retaliation.
And during the trial, the judge continually expressed frustration with the quality of testimony from Cantu and other federal officials.
And tackling the county's climate issues was the top of mind for environmental advocates and community members at a conference yesterday. County Executive Aisha Braveboy, the Department of the Environment, and its partners hosted the Braveboy Climate Leadership Summit. At the conference, participants learned about the county's climate action plan and took part in breakout sessions. County leaders say flooding is one of the climate-related issues that impacts Prince George's.
We've dealt with a lot of flooding issues. The county has taken major steps to reduce flooding or protect the communities. For example, the levees down at the Annapolis, we've enhanced those levees. We have floodplain studies that we monitor and make sure that we advise residents.
For more details on the county's climate action plan, visit the website right there on your screen.
NASA officials are moving forward with a plan to close 13 buildings and more than 100 labs at the Goddard Flight Center. The changes are supposed to take place by March. This is part of a long-term effort to reduce the campus footprint by 25%. NASA leaders say this could save them roughly $10 million. But critics say the move could impact Goddard's research and projects that rely on these facilities. And President Trump has already proposed cutting NASA funding by 24% next year to streamline operations. The FAA is giving $10,000 bonuses to controllers and technicians who had perfect attendance during the recent government shutdown. This means only 776 controllers will be eligible to receive those bonuses, and nearly 20,000 workers will be left out. This is a move that has garnered some criticism. During the shutdown, a number of controllers called out sick to work side jobs, while others simply didn't have enough money for gas or childcare. The call-outs did force airports to delay and even cancel flights all across the country.
Well, in case you missed it, the Prince George's County Council wrapped up its 2025 legislative session on Tuesday. They faced a lot of challenges, from balancing the budget, data center debates, and providing assistance to thousands of county residents affected by the 43-day government shutdown. In all, the council enacted 74 bills and adopted 124 resolutions, including repealing the nearly 30-year pit bull ban.
The animal management shelter and talking to so many volunteers committed to transforming how we see pit bulls in Prince George's County, I, over time, changed my view, and now I support removing the ban with the stipulations that CB 97 supports.
And also, the Maryland Transportation Authority reported the Francis Scott Key Bridge is going to cost more and open later than expected. Officials say the bridge will cost up to $5 billion and will not open until late 2030. Originally, the bridge was expected to cost just under $2 billion and open in 2028. Officials say the changes are due to the fact material costs and scope of the project have increased drastically.
And speeders beware, starting this week, speed camera fines in the city of Bowie have increased. Depending how fast you're going over, fine increases vary. The fines were updated to align with the new Maryland state law that went into effect on October 1st.
We also have good news that happened this week. Prince George's County Public Schools announced their Dual in the Schools program is expanding. Partnering with Prince George's Community College, high school juniors and seniors can take tuition-free courses. Currently, the program is in 5 high schools and is slated to bring college-level courses into every PGCPS high school by 2026 to the 2027 school year.
It helps out with the money, honestly, because college is expensive, so it honestly helps out if you continue to do it. If you start before and you work up to an associate's degree, that helps a lot. Like they said, it takes off $10,000, and that's a lot of money that'll help.
Getting kids access to college opportunities in high school is a game changer. 1, for their confidence, 2, for their pocketbooks. And so we show kids that they can be successful in college and they can do it at an affordable rate.
Meanwhile, Bowie State University saw Christmas in November with a big financial gift. Philanthropist Mackenzie Scott presented a $50 million donation to the HBCU. This is the largest single contribution in the university's history. Bowie State officials say the gift will strengthen the school's endowment and advance key priorities in the school's new strategic plan. You're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Still to come.
A Montgomery County food pantry is making sure that families in need have a nutritious Thanksgiving Day feast. I'm Katara Jones. I'll tell you more about their efforts coming up on CTV News.
This is a journey no family ever expects to take. I know because my family has been where you are now. We all asked ourselves the same question: why us? I wish we could give you the answer. In our hardest moments, we found there was a whole community of support waiting for us. Holding each other for the bad news and the good. So please, let this house remind you how loved you are and how strong you are. With all our love, from one Ronald McDonald House family who stayed to another.
Welcome back. Millions of Marylanders are expected to take to the roads, rails, and skies this Thanksgiving week. And the Maryland Department of Transportation is urging everyone to be serious about safety as they kick off the busy holiday travel season. Officials encourages residents and visitors to slow down, stay alert on the road, and use seatbelts to ensure everyone gets to their destination safely. We spoke with AAA, who breaks down what we can expect this holiday travel season and says the government shutdown still has some effects on holiday travel.
In Maryland, AAA is projecting that more than 1.5 million Marylanders will be traveling over this upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. So that's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving through the Monday following Thanksgiving. The vast majority of those traveling, about 1.37 million Marylanders, will be driving to their holiday destination. In light of what was going on just a few weeks ago with the flight reductions, certainly many people preemptively changed their flights or canceled their flights because of the anxiety, because of the uncertainty we were seeing.
In just 6 days, families will gather around the table for their Thanksgiving Day dinner. Unfortunately for some Marylanders, affording all the food required for a Turkey Day feast is out of reach.
And today, volunteers at a local organization are taking action and helping families in need have a delicious dinner. CTV's Katara Jones takes us inside a food pantry in Bethesda with more.
I'm here at Nourishing Bethesda, a food pantry here in Montgomery County. And what's happening today is that their regular clientele that normally comes and gets food are here getting everything they need for their Thanksgiving Day dinner. Volunteers at Nourishing Bethesda were busy this morning handing out food to families that frequent their Choice Market, a mini grocery store and food pantry that the nonprofit runs.
We're giving out 1,000 complete Thanksgiving packages, right? So not only do you get a turkey, but you get a baking tin, coffee, a pie, rolls, stuffing, vegetables, an onion.
Organizers say that there are thousands of clients that they serve come to them every 2 weeks to get meats, fresh fruit, and vegetables.
So instead of you getting a bag handed to you with mystery, whatever in it that you may or may not like, we've set up a choice market so you can come and shop and you can take what you want, which is it's so empowering for our folks. You get what you need, and we have a variety of different culturally appropriate foods for, our Hispanic and our Pan-Asian folks.
This organization does such incredible work, and not only do they give food, but they give community and they give dignity. It's not just handing out food, it's coming in, there's a friendly face, people can shop, they can walk around and pick what they want as opposed to being told, this is what you have to eat, this is what you have to get.
Despite Bethesda being a more affluent part of Montgomery County, State Senator Love and U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen both agree that the need for food assistance in this community is real.
Well, it just goes to show how deep the issue of hunger goes, because you're right, this is a relatively well-off area, but you still have long lines of cars coming, and I know from talking to the folks who run this place that lines have gotten longer, not shorter.
Organizers say today is the last day that they are giving out food that families need for their Thanksgiving Day dinner. Katara Jones, CTV News.
What a great cause. Thanks, Katara, for that story. For more details, visit nourishingbethesda.org.
And you can find several Thanksgiving giveaways throughout the county, including several that our county council members are hosting. All of them are happening this Saturday, November 22nd. Councilmember Walla Blagay will host her annual District 6 Thanksgiving Turkey Drive giveaway from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Metropolitan Baptist Church in Largo. Meanwhile, Councilmember Wanika Fisher, in partnership with the police department, will host a District 2 Thanksgiving food giveaway from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And lastly, Council Vice Chair Crystal Oriaga and Wanda Durant are teaming up for a holiday food distribution event at Bishop McNamara High School. And finally, Jeremy Grant, basketball veteran and founder of the nonprofit Our Generation Foundation, is hosting an annual Thanksgiving Granted drive-through meal giveaway from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Peppermill Community Center in Hyattsville.
Thanksgiving Granted, just in itself, this will be our 9th year doing the Thanksgiving Granted, and we started out wanting to have just brands that Jeremy grew up with, that people would feel comfortable with and be confident. But over the years, now 9 years later, we have a lot of fresh produce. We have greens. We actually have an urban farm, so we grow produce there, and we're able to give out potatoes and greens and onions.
Our Generation Foundation plans to distribute 300 meal bags.
Housing advocates in Maryland are concerned the upcoming funding cuts could negatively impact thousands of homeless people. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced they are cutting funding for permanent housing solutions and shifting that funding to temporary housing supports. The move would redirect funding to transitional housing. HUD Secretary Scott Turner says the move promotes self-sufficiency among vulnerable Americans. But Maryland Housing Secretary Jake Day believes this could force 4,300 people back on the streets. As flu season is set to begin, Governor Wes Moore has launched a new program to help keep Marylanders safe. It's the first of its kind free adult vaccine program to expand immunization access for uninsured and underinsured individuals. Through the state's health department, recommended vaccines will be provided to Marylanders ages 19 and older for free at local health departments throughout the state. Moore said in a statement, quote, "Nobody should be denied basic health care because of inability to pay."
Well, the Labor Department is revising some of its summer numbers, lowering July and August job growth by about 33,000. But in September, healthcare continued to drive hiring with 43,000 new jobs, while the federal workforce actually lost 3,000. September's report, delayed by the government shutdown, still shows the labor market holding steady as the Fed weighs whether to cut rates later this year. And still to come on CTV News, between shutdown layoffs and rising food costs, your holiday season may look different this year.
We talk with a financial expert about ways to save without sacrificing tradition. Stay with us, everyone.
Together, we build. Yes, those, but not just those. We're here, and also here, and most definitely here. Together, we can build affordability, opportunity, joy. Home is a foundation, a launch pad, where we can focus on what matters most. Habitat for Humanity has helped tens of millions of people around the world build their lives on their own terms. But we have so much more to do. Because 1 in 3 people on Earth still don't have a safe, affordable home. We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. Will it be easy? No. But we're not afraid of getting our hands dirty and doing the hard work. But we can't do it alone. We need you. Because all of this starts with home. And home starts with you.
Welcome back. We are now less than 1 week away from Thanksgiving, and after the year we've had, many families have struggled financially.
And between the government shutdown and furloughs, some may be wondering how they will be able to make it through the holiday season.
And here now to share some tips with us is the founder and CEO of Good News Financial and Investment Advisors, LLC, Dr. Jovan Jackson. And Dr. Jackson, it is always a pleasure for you being with us today.
My pleasure. Likewise. Thank you, Jonathan. Always appreciate you guys.
Thank you. And first up, it's no secret, we just got over the government shutdown, and a lot of people faced a lot of financial stress because of the government shutdown. So before we get into spending tips, how should people prepare for their next emergency?
Well, Jonathan, first thing is to take a breath, because I know that whole experience was a lot for all of us. And then let's start by taking some action so that we are not reactive, but more of a proactive for the next crisis. So after that, start by rebuilding that emergency budget. Aim for at least 1 month of expenses. Now, I know that could feel overwhelming at first sight, but take a small approach to it. Start with small weekly deposits. If that means $50 for you a month or $500, get in where you fit in, but be consistent, right? And then review your paycheck deductions and eliminate any unnecessary subscriptions that you may have as well. Remember, the whole goal is to plan before the next crisis, not during it.
Gotcha. And a lot of people really rely on credit cards this time of year. What is your takeaway or your tips that you may have for someone that wants to use a credit card versus maybe not using one?
Yeah, using credit cards are fine as long as you can pay the balance off within 30 days. A lot of times we, tend to carry balances, and what ends up happening is that we create a bigger headache for ourselves in the future. So I'm okay with using credit cards, especially if you are leveraging the reward points and things like that for groceries and gas, but it's best used only when you have the discipline to pay it off in 30 days.
And Dr. Jackson, it's no secret that several people want to go out and buy things. How can people set a realistic budget without going too far?
Well, absolutely. So as far as not going too far, you want to, I like to think about it as set it into like 3 buckets, right? As far as your Thanksgiving is concerned, you have your food, you have your gifts, and then you have your fun, right? Prioritize the expenses that are most important to you. A lot of times we just kind of start with a list of people, but let's start with a list of goals and expenses so that you can kind of stay in the boundaries that you set for yourself and avoid the overspending.
Now, for a lot of people, working or living paycheck to paycheck and, going through these financial struggles, what are some, easy gifts that they can get or even some low-cost celebration ideas that they can do during the holidays?
Yeah, Michaela, I would say focus on presents over presents. Hope you caught that, okay? Giving acts of service, babysitting for your family, cooking, hosting potluck dinners for family gatherings, or memory nights with family photos. Gratitude costs nothing, but it leaves a bigger lasting impression than material gifts.
And then Dr. Jackson, what are some signs that someone is overspending?
Oh, well, I tell you what, if you start giving yourselves the excuses of I deserve this, right? Or if you find yourself hiding purchases or delaying bills, right? Those are all warning signs. Another red flag is if you don't know your credit card balance, you're overspending, okay? Overspending often starts with emotional spending, not financial need.
Now, a lot of people may feel guilty, speaking with other family members that they might be struggling, but what tips can you give people to just work with their family during this time when they're struggling?
Absolutely. Be honest. Be honest and make it a teaching moment. Share with your kids and say things like, we're focusing on what matters this year, right? Children, they remember love, okay, not price tags. So involve them in setting the budget, right? Because it basically teaches them good financial habits early and it removes the shame from the financial conversations.
All right, Dr. Jackson, thanks so much for joining us. And
My
if you
pleasure.
would like
Thank you both.
Yeah, if you would like to get more tips from Dr. Jackson, you can visit her at the Good News Financial and Investment Advisors LLC's offices located in Landover.
Or you can go to goodnewsfinancialservices.com. Don't go away just yet. It is now time for that Friday Sports Page.
That's right. What's going on today, Simon?
Stay tuned for your Friday Sports Page, everyone, as I got the chance to talk to another basketball team from right here in the county that's coming off of winning the state championship last season. Hear what they had to say after the break.
For 250 years, America has depended on the courage of those who serve. They've defended our freedom and helped us become the nation we are today. At Wounded Warrior Project, we honor the past by building a better future for post-9/11 veterans, service members, and their families. They've given us their best. Join us in supporting them through the next 250 years of strength and resilience. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/USA.
What's going on, everyone? It's time for your Friday Sports Page. Now, for our first story, we continue my coverage of high school basketball as the start of the 2026 season is getting closer and closer. And today I'm going to shine a light on a team that's coming off of an absolutely stellar season who's trying to continue being one of the top dogs in the county.
The Laurel High School boys basketball squad has finally begun gearing up for the upcoming season. The Spartans have a ton of talent on their roster, with a nice mix of young as well as veteran players. But with that comes learning having to play with one another, which is something head coach Eric Hines believes the team is making strides in.
They're starting to learn how to talk to each other, which is a big thing for us. Communication is big on the court. Really being able to start showing their aggressiveness and really learning how each other move and what the best skill sets of them. And once they have that together, they'll be like a ticking clock.
Now Laurel is coming off of one of the best seasons they've ever had as a program, winning their first state title in over 40 years. And in order for the team to continue to be one of the best teams not only in the county but also the state, the team has to maintain those championship habits that played such a huge role in them taking home the state title trophy last season. And some vets on the team told me what they want to see out of this group to help make sure they have no drop-off in 2026.
I feel like off the court we need to be more for each other. Like last year we were a brotherhood. I just want to build that again. Give a new team a new opportunity to build that brotherhood that we had last year.
I want all the incoming freshmen and sophomores to keep that same hunger that we had last year. Everybody on the team had that same hunger. I want everybody to keep that same hunger this year.
Just to stay disciplined, stay focused, and don't get caught up in anything else, and stay to basketball.
Now there's no doubt the Spartans have high hopes for themselves coming into the season. And as the team begins to embark on their title defense, Coach Hines touched on what his message is to the team as they continue to practice and head into the year.
Get better every day. Chase your dream. And let's go about it one day at a time, one game at a time, and let's see what we can make of it.
Good luck this season, Laurel, and your quest to go back-to-back. And sticking with high school sports, the state football playoffs continue tonight as Wiles will face off against Glen Burnie, while Flowers will take the field against Quince Orchard. And I'll have some highlights for you all on Monday, so be sure to tune into that. Meantime, the UMD football team will be taking the field tomorrow against the Michigan Wolverines. Now, for some of the seniors on the team, this will be one of the last times they will suit up for the Terps. And one of the seniors on the team and defensive lineman Cam Rice touched on the team's mindset as the season comes to a close.
Pretty much everyone on the team is excited for these last two. We still have an opportunity to do something great here, go to a bowl game and extend our season. So the young guys, they're excited to play their best for the seniors, and the seniors are ready to play. We're ready to play our best to finish this season the right way.
Maryland will honor the seniors before kickoff for their contributions to the program. The game begins at 4 o'clock. And sticking with Terp sports news, the women's basketball team routed Bethune-Cookman last night, 95-49. The next opponent will be George Mason on Sunday. In other news, the Washington Capitals took down the Montreal Canadiens last night, 8-4 for their third straight win. The Caps will try to make it 4 straight when they take the ice against the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And that wraps up your Friday Sports Page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports. Have a good weekend, everyone.
All right, thanks, Simon. Let's take a look at our 3-day weather forecast.
Tonight, more rain is expected with a low of 48. And tomorrow, keep those umbrellas handy because we have more rain with a high of 56.
And for Sunday and Monday, a great switch up with bright and sunny skies. The highs for both days will be in the upper 50s.
And for our community calendar, I know we've been talking about Thanksgiving, but Christmas is right around the corner.
That's right. Next weekend, join Darnell's Chance House Museum for their 26th annual Gingerbread House Contest and Show. It starts next Friday, November 28th through Saturday, the 29th from 12 to 5 p.m. All right, that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
We're going to see you again on Monday. Have a great night, everyone.